Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And this is Dr. Jacqueline King. I know I was just on a few minutes ago, but I am back with my next guest, Mr. Joe Dudley, who you know from the Dudley family hair products that's all over the world. Like at one time, Joe, there were no other products, right? Remember, it was just Dudley. You didn't have anything else that you could use but Dudley. So it's an honor to have you with us tonight, Joe. And how are you doing?
I'm doing just great, Dr. King. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. We're glad to have you. We've been talking about doing this for it seems like years, doesn't it?
It seems like a while, but we're finally able to make it happen tonight. So that's great.
We are making it happen. So if you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Share the broadcast. So Joe, I have my new movement, which is Christian Women Level Up, and we're bringing in a lot of guests that had started from humble beginnings. Although we know that you were born with a silver spoon. I like to mess with you, but but
Not quite, not quite. I was not born with a silver spoon. My parents started off very little. They used to live underneath the stairs of my father's aunt. Right before I was born. So no, I didn't quite come with the silver spoon. My younger sister, who's a few number of years younger than me, did, but not me.
well, I was kidding, but I interviewed your mom, um, and it was a great interview. And she told me how they started the business in the kitchen. Talk a little bit about what you remember from the beginning.
Well, I was there from the beginning, and I remember it all. My parents started off learning about the hair care business and the cosmetic business, meeting in Brooklyn, New York, in the early '60s. And after my father finished school, they worked in Brooklyn, New York, for 5 years. I was born in Brooklyn, and right before I turned 4, the family moved to Greensboro, North Carolina, to open up their Fuller Products distributorship, and continuing on in the industry. And eventually they started up beauty and barber supply business, which was a part of. But all of this happened when I was 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so when I was 6, my father started making products on the kitchen stove, developing what was our Scout Special hair conditioner. And so it had a wonderful, great cinnamon smell. He would actually mix the product in a 55-gallon drum
Wow.
with a heater on the bottom, and mixing it up with a big oar. And my mother would type up the labels, and myself and my younger sister Ursula would actually put the caps on the jars and the labels on the jars as well. And the salespeople would sell it the next day. So it was right there at the beginning for all the parts for it. And when we started, we both had the door-to-door business and beauty and barber supply business. My parents put me to work at age 5. Mother had me counting inventory with her. And at age 7, she put me to work in the store, cleaning the bathrooms, sweeping up the hair, because we were doing a lot of wigs and a lot of hair cutting that was going on. But he also gave me a chance to work behind the counter and be able to sell products to the customers, whatever they purchase. I was able to ring it up and be able to do that. And sometimes some people would ask my mother, why is that little midget behind the counter asking me for my driver's license to put on the back of my check? Because that's what we did back in the '70s with that. And he said, oh, no, that's my young son who's doing it all. He said, oh, well, he counted the change right, or he did everything else right. And they also put me to work. They gave me incentive. Not only work, I got 25 cents an hour working for them. And they gave me a 10% commission for any of the Fuller and Dudley products that I sold that were comparable to other products that we're selling. So I definitely had firsthand experience learning about sales, learning how to do business, working in my family's business.
You know, the story is so remarkable because your parents taught you work ethics at a very young age. Some kids never get that. You know what I'm saying? They taught you to value working hard and making money. Would you say that would be correct?
Well, no question. When it comes to developing work ethic and putting things in place. I could see them working every day, and everything was focused. And our mission in our family was to build the business. The business was almost like a sixth member of our business, like one child, and it had to be groomed, it had to be developed and work with it. So it was a full family mission. Fortunately, not only because it's my father's business, but my mother working together. And that was always part of the dialogue, the conversation. What are we going to do to build and grow and develop? And we could see all of the exciting employees who are coming apart. And they were excited for building, exciting for growth. And my father had a wonderful vision that he was committed to making the whole town wag about what Dudley was doing. And so it took several years for that to happen. But indeed, we were able to make an imprint in our early days and move forward. And I was able to be a part of that. Eventually, I decided I was tired of working just in the store, and I want to go sell products door to door. So I went out at the age of 10 and start working on the weekends and during the summers, selling products door to door. And that was another learning experience for me to truly challenge myself because I was seeing how much fun everybody else was having selling products. And I'm saying, hey, I want to make myself and make my own money. And at the time I decided to do that, my parents no longer gave me an allowance. No more allowance at age 10. I had to make my own money from selling products or for whatever else. So whatever it is that I wanted, I had to work and pay for. So that was a great advantage, compared to other people who got, that experience. So yes, taught me the value of money, but more importantly, in terms of what my effort is, and if I wanted something, I had to work for it in order to get it. And that was a wonderful lesson. Unfortunately, not everybody gets that experience. Many times people are afraid to work with the family or in the business, or it was a chore. But for me, it was an adventure, and I enjoyed it tremendously.
Wow. So we have on the screen, Dr. Robin Featherstone said she used to be a hair model for Dudley's in the 90s and was everything. She said she loved it. So I know if you see that, but sometimes I put the comments up on the screen, but I thought that was nice.
Oh, that was nice. I see that. Yes, yes. She had an excellent experience. Glad for you to share that with us, Dr. Robin.
And there was another lady that said she lived up the street from you all in Kernersville.
Oh.
So they're coming in. Thank you all for sharing. As you come in, share the broadcast. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So you went to college and you majored in what?
Right. Our family moved from North Carolina to Chicago, and I had a chance to go to high school in Chicago as well as Northwestern. So I got an undergraduate degree in economics, and I carried on and got my MBA at Northwestern as well in marketing, finance, and strategic planning. And so I was able to, finish at age 22 because I got into what's called the 3-2 program, where I was able to go undergrad for my first 3 years and then and go straight into grad school for my fourth year. So I was able to finish in 5 years versus 6 years. And that was great. And part of it was because, I really knew what my path was. My path was always to be able to work for the family business. And so I had focus, I had commitment, I had guidance and, and direction that, not everybody had, but I had purpose. And I was living my purpose. And the goal was to learn as much as I could so I could, bring back and be more polished when it came in working in the family business.
And so you ended up being over the manufacturing part. Is that correct?
No, not quite. My mother was in charge of that for a bit, but I did contribute to that. So I had my hand in several different pies when I joined in. When I first came in, we had no marketing department. So I was able to build that from scratch. Also, our accounting group had 2 people, and we were like 9 months behind. So I was able to get my arms around that and build that to a group of 18 people in accounting eventually over the years. And then also I had my hands around inventory management, which nobody likes to do inventory, but I love this since my mother taught me at age 5, and we needed to figure that out because sometimes we were growing well, but then we would be out of stock of products. And then salespeople would be frustrated because people wanted to buy, but we didn't have it at the time for their shipment. And so I jumped in to work on that problem. It took a long time. It took like 8 years before I finally got it perfect. Not because I'm so slow, but it's like you got to convince everybody else to do all the right things at the same time. And not everybody wants to. And so, and my parents would tie my hands because they always wouldn't let me bring in the most experienced person to do things. They'll say, oh, that person's smart. They'll figure it out. And it was like, I want somebody with some experience, and they did the best they can. So we improved with that. So I was involved in manufacturing quite a bit, but no, I wasn't always in charge. I had other projects and things I was involved in.
So somebody says that they're tuning in from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Actually went to high school with Michelle Dudley.
And that's my cousin.
Okay. And she actually was a hair model for Dudley's hair products in the mid 80s. You got a lot of your fans have tuned in, Joe. It looks like.
That's fantastic. Well, we certainly did use a lot of models. As you see right behind me, these are 2 hairstyle books that came out in the late 80s and early 90s. I was personally involved in that, meaning, I led the effort with that. And so that we were one of the first in the Black hair care manufacturing side to come out with our own branded book. And that allowed us to be innovative and creative with that. And so, every year I had 20,000 books to sell across the country. And that was one of my personal missions and helped make that happen. So I learned a lot of things from that. And that did give people to experience to be models for us. And eventually, at the end of the 80s, we opened up our own cosmetology university. And that was located in Kernersville. We were fortunate to be able to get 54 acres of land and be able to, and there was an existing Christian high school that was there. It had been there for a number of years, but some of it had been a bit dilapidated. And some of the buildings we had to burn down. However, my mother was super creative in figuring out how to renovate those buildings and make them workable and usable. And at our university, we invited thousands of cosmetologists from the United States and across the world to come in and for 1 week of training to learn the latest in hair cutting, hairstyling, as well as the use of our products. And it would invigorate them. It would encourage them to elevate their skills and elevate their understanding and renew their passion for the industry and know what is possible for what's happening, because we would keep them working from 8 a.m. up to midnight so they could get as much knowledge and information that they were possible so that they can go back and start making more money because they have greater skills, greater understanding. But we also encouraged them. We had a graduation every Thursday where they would show their final results and walk the line. And so many of them hadn't been in a graduation since high school or have that experience. The more important part is to be celebrated for what they were doing on a daily basis, and to know that there were people who believed in them and create great connections across the country with their other classmates. So that was a fantastic exposure that we were able to give. And we did bring lots of models in from the local colleges. They would get a chance to come in and get their hair done for free. And there would be a photo opportunity as well, so that the clients could have the memories and be able to show off their work for what they learned at the time. So it was all a great experience. For over almost 20 years, we had 16,000 students
wow.
and across the world who came in for that. And that was a great innovation from my parents. People felt loved. People felt cared for and understood in a way that they had not been with any other hair care manufacturer. So that made a real difference in people believing us and supporting us and helping to grow our business across the country. I was fortunate to help get that started, but we had many other of our executives who really got that going and led very well, including our first dean of DCU, none other than Dean Betty Clausen, who's our director of our beauty school in Chicago right now. But she started it off and got them going and got them involved, and it's carried on with a great reputation ever since.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So Katrina says she was one of those cosmetologists. It was a great experience. And so I'm trying to highlight some of the comments that they're leaving. They seem to be very, very excited about having you. I should have had you on a while ago. So, Joe, as far as leveling up, you see where your family started off and just kept going, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what it's all about. Not staying in the same place, but moving forward and expanding and leveling up. And so you not only did your family level up, but you gave cosmetologists the opportunity to level up and expand too. Would that be correct?
Oh, absolutely. No question about that. We made a decision from the very beginning to not put our products in the retail stores. We carried on our tradition of selling products door to door and went from salon to salon with our products. We felt a lot of cosmetology experience, professional hair care companies introducing the product in the salon and then taking it away after 5-6 years and put it into the retail stores or beauty salons, because I mean into retail stores and department stores and grocery stores. And so that wound up being competition for the stylists. But we felt they need to have a professional product line of their own that they can claim. So our tagline became, in partnership with the professional cosmetologist. And what did that mean? That mean not only was it a product that they can use and not have to compete with the stores, but they also had retail line of products that they sold to their customers. And the customers could not get it cheaper, down the street because it was made for and designed to be kept professional only in terms of the product. So that was our commitment to it. Is selling through stores easier? Yes, it is easier. You just, you get the order, you package it up and send it off to their warehouse. But we wanted to employ people in the field and give them a career opportunity where they were serving their own neighborhood and city of stylists. So they had anywhere between 100 to 200 stylists they would serve on a weekly basis. And we gave them a great opportunity to be able to make money for themselves and not be in business by themselves, but to support everything we're doing. So that was our interest, how many jobs we could create, how many opportunities we can give. So just like my parents got the opportunity to learn how to sell, how to engage people, motivate them, we did the same for others. And we built a fantastic sales force of over 200 people across the country, going salon to salon with our products.
Awesome. So Marjorie says that she it was from, I guess, WS.
Winston-Salem.
Okay, I didn't know what WS was, but and now a college professor in Charlotte. One of my business textbooks uses Dudley's as a great business growth story. I was so proud. That thank you so much for sharing that, Marjorie.
Share that even more. I would love to see that book. Definitely. If you can share that, that would be great, Marjorie.
So I know we've got, we're 18 minutes into it and we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So what are you doing now, Joe?
What am I doing now? Well, I get a chance to be able to talk to entrepreneurs from across the country. I have a program, and I'll share some slides with it in a few, called the Dudley Eagles Mastermind Group. And with our Dudley Eagles Mastermind Group, we're talking to entrepreneurs from all walks of life, not just from the beauty industry, but from those who are involved in real estate, those involved in other retail businesses. We want to be able to share, and this is part of my personal duty, is to be able to share the lessons I learned that helped grow my family business from 5 million to 35 million, from 150 to over 600 employees. And I'm sharing with this knowledge that I learned growing up around the family dinner table and the things that I heard, and sharing what does it take to actually create success? What does it take to be able to open doors? And one of the biggest ones is your network. How well developed is your network? Because there is a tremendous power of opportunity that occurs, but only through your network are those doors open for you on your behalf. As I share, it's essential to understand that the quality of your success or the depth of your success is based on the quality of your network and the depth of your network too. And so that's what we share. And so with all of our entrepreneurs coming together, we're able to do business with one another, able to point opportunities to each other and connect. In fact, just today, one of my members called me up 2 days ago and say, "Hey, Joe, I know you have some, particular products to sell. I mean, these are actually chairs that I was working with for another client. And he knew I had them. Said, "Hey, I've got somebody to buy them from you." I said, "Great, fantastic." And I was able to reward him for bringing that to me as well. So we do a lot of different business opportunities, including real estate and other ways to be able to build and grow. Also focus on getting access to capital and being able to build and grow your business. But separate from money, you really need to be able to understand what does it take to create success in your business and your industry. There are 5 key things you really got to be able to know. And sometimes you're only going to learn them from talking to people who have actual experience. Textbooks do a great job in giving you an overall sense of things, but the key secrets lie in the people who know how you need to operate and run your business and what to do. I'm fortunate to have, many years of experience watching my parents firsthand, but also getting in myself, rolling up my sleeves, learning how to be able to do those things and seeing the things that work and things that don't work. And the things you try to learn from school and try to apply in the real world, sometimes they work, or you just have to be able to shift and figure out, okay, how does it work in this situation so you can gain success? So we bring that knowledge and experience together, and we're able to share with our group of entrepreneurs on a weekly basis. And it's awesome to see how they are able to understand what it takes to move forward, and more importantly, get the encouragement and inspiration that my parents always shared with people, and I choose to do so on a continuing basis.
All right. So you have some slides that you want to share. What you got?
All right, fine. Let me share that with you. So let's see. Oops. It's not quite on, but let's see if we get going from here. All right. Do you see things in the full screen?
Okay, yeah, and they can see you too, Joe. Now, I didn't know whether that was going to work, but they can. So go ahead.
Oh, now that we live. All right, fine. Fantastic. Well, indeed, I'm, Joe Dudley Jr. I'm a second generation entrepreneur, and my team has decided to call me the $1 Million Black Business Strategist, meaning I help business owners be able to develop into $1 million businesses and be able to grow from there. This is a picture of my parents, Joe and Eunice Dudley, and the world of Dudley that we've been able to create. And so that includes, in terms of our lower right, our manufacturing headquarters, products we've been able to do and sell in salons. We have our Dudley Beauty School system where we had DCU, and we also built a hotel on that land as well. As you shared, many of our customers get our products in the salons, and we are motivating, encouraging, and developing stylists to do just that. We were fortunate to be featured by Chris Rock in his documentary Good Hair that came out 2008, 2009. And Chris came to our factory and be able to see how we were able to make products. And he was able to meet many of our students that were featured who were at our Dudley Cosmetology University as well. So that was definitely a great experience there. And you can see Chris here with my father and myself. I've had a chance to write a book called What's My E-Style? Discover Your Entrepreneurial Personality for Outstanding Business Success. In it, I identify 9 different entrepreneurial personalities and be able to allow people to be able to see what their business strengths are and their weaknesses, what their approach to work is, and their areas for development. And in this, I help people match up. Are you in the right business that fits your entrepreneurial personality? That's very critical, because many times we get into businesses that don't fit who we really are. And we want to be able to match those that fit who we are, because that allows us to increase our probability of success by 500%. it makes a real difference what type of business you are, because, just like when it comes to relationships, you want to be in business that's compatible with who you are. And you want to bring on team members who are compatible with you and not conflict with your personality. I also help business owners get unstuck and regain their momentum to be able to build and grow their business. I'm able to offer perspective on terms of what does it take in order for them to understand where they are and where they want to go. I also help business owners finance their $1 million projects. Many people have great programs and ideas, but not able to get the financing for that. And so I tend to work with people who have at least $1 million type of project and opportunity, and I help them develop the concept, and I get in touch with banks and private investors to be able to secure the funding for their project. And this is part of my experience working at the family company. When I came on board, I became our VP of Finance as well as our VP of Marketing. And so here, this is where I share with you the Dudley Eagles Mastermind meeting. We meet on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And this is a great group for entrepreneurs who are ready to soar. This creates a powerful network of people who look like you, who face the same challenges as you do, to be able to communicate, to share, to understand, and move things forward. We also talk about Black group economics, because indeed our unity is our wealth, and we promote that in what we're doing. Each week we have great new guest speakers who are able to come in and share about their entrepreneurial journey, their ups, their downs, the challenges that they face, and what they've done to move forward. Here we've had a chance to hear from Dr. Willie Jolly, who's a Hall of Fame speaker and comeback expert. He spoke about how to turn your setbacks into comebacks. And then we had a professional speaker and executive life coach, R.J. Jackson. She spoke about an entrepreneur's repossession journey of greatness. And then we had Christy Venable, owner of a multi-million-dollar mental health business. And she was only 35 at the time. She spoke about living with no ceiling, expand your dreams, and develop the 7-figure mindset for unimaginable success. And so this is a great thing that we're able to do each week, which is fantastic. And I would love to get some of you to join our email list so that you can get a chance to be invited to these wonderful meetings that we have on Sundays. And if you register now, you get a free gift for you. Dr. King, if you could add that.
I did already.
To the chat, that's wonderful.
He also didn't tell that I was also a guest on his show. Of course, he left that out.
Well, thank you for reminding me. Indeed, yes, indeed, you're a wonderful speaker, and I will have to share that with our audience that indeed you did. So would love for you to be able to sign up for our email list. And with a free gift we have with you, it's a powerful 3-video set containing highlights from our entrepreneurs who share their wit, wisdom, and insights on several key topics. And so this free gift comes in for that. And these topics include talking about mindset, strategy, and perseverance. And so these are some of the key elements that's needed to be able to move forward and moving your business forward. And even if you don't have a large business, many of us are solopreneurs working by ourselves at home or working alone. This is why you need inspiration. This is why you need understanding of how other people succeeded in order to fuel your tank and so that you can move forward as well. All right. So those are most of the things I want to be able to share. So love for you to be able to click on that. I guess I might as well share with you.
Might as well go for it. You keep hitting it.
Well, I can speak about it later, but those are the main things. But I do have a great new event that's come up based on what we've been doing with the Dudley Eagles Mastermind Group. We have been afforded the opportunity to have as a guest speaker Courtney B. Vance, the award-winning actor that's won Emmys and have been involved in a number of other great programs, including he was on the People versus O.J. Simpson miniseries that came on. He was a great attorney whose name's not coming to me right now. Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran. He played on that program there, and is also on Law and Order. Criminal Intent, yes. So he was the DA, the assistant DA on that program for that, and been in many other programs. Some of you may have seen him as well in the movie with Whitney Houston. And what was the name of that movie?
Preacher's Wife.
Preacher's Wife, indeed. Along with him is Dr. Robin Smith, a renowned psychologist. Many of you may have seen on Oprah Winfrey's show. Courtney had a few challenges in his life. When he was 30, his father died by suicide, and 2 years ago, his godson died by suicide as well. And so he connected with Dr. Robin Smith, spoke a lot about the challenge with Black male depression, and they have just written a book called The Invisible Ache. The book was just released 2 weeks ago, and we have been afforded this opportunity to have him, the both of them, to join us for Author Talk. And so it's a special free event. Would love for you to go ahead and register now. Dr. King, you can put that in the chat as well. I'm sure you have. And I will take you to a chance to be able to register at eventbrite.com. I was able to get this opportunity, and I invited several of my friends to be a part, many of them in the mental health community, which includes Sound Minds, Heart Life Ministries, and Institute for African American Male Development, and also the National Association for Mental Illness out of Philadelphia. So they've come join us together to promote this great event, and would love for you to be able to join us with that event as well. Okay. Let's see. I'm pressing the button to stop the share.
Yeah, we're stopping this year. I'm just trying to put this. Yeah, I actually just posted it. Where they can register.
Yeah, so we'd love for you to click on that link to be able to do that. And so this is all part of us extending ourselves to our community, and be able to speak to people not only how to grow their own business, but how to grow our whole self as well. Unfortunately, one of the challenges that we've all faced, and become even more exaggerated or enhanced through the pandemic, is unfortunately people dying by suicide. And in fact, one great statistic I had, unfortunately, 80% of the people who do die by suicide are men. And so that's a big challenge in our community. So understanding that and be able to learn more about that is powerful. Fortunately, even for my family, we've been touched by this experience. Just happened last year. My brother-in-law injured himself, and that was traumatic because it stopped him from, injured his leg, but he also had surgery, and he got depressed. He got in a depressive episode, none that we've ever seen him in before. And this went on for 6 months. We can tell that things weren't turning around for him. So I sat down with him. My sister sat down with him. We encouraged him to be able to get mental health support. He agreed to do that, but he really didn't tell the therapist everything that needed to be told. And unfortunately, he died by suicide last year. So that was totally unexpected. Never saw it. He was in his early 50s, and we just did not see that as being a possible outcome. And and so this is what happens when. But we did try to intervene. We knew he was depressed, and we tried to make things better and help him make some different life choices better, which he was willing to do so. But unfortunately, no news was not good news. And he and my sister have been trying to get pregnant for a number of years. Finally happened, and he still remained depressed. So that was not good. So he was stuck, and he wouldn't allow anybody to help him. And he really did not share any of the challenges that would lead him to say, okay, this was his solution. So this was, unfortunate, very heartfelt. We just celebrated his son's first year birthday just last week. So this happens in our communities in ways that we don't expect And so appreciate a lot for you to understand. But I want you to get involved in both things. Love for you to register for our Dudley Eagles Mastermind Group, but also more importantly, love for you to register right now for this upcoming event. It's being held on December 3rd, which is Sunday, 2 weeks from yesterday. And we would love to be able to have a great audience for these two people.
And Joe and I will be doing some work together to help you level up, right, Joe?
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
because he definitely is the expert, and so we have been committed to helping you get unstuck. That's what he does. So, as my friend for many years, it's not optional that he work with me. He doesn't have a choice. So,
And I'm happily enrolled. Happy enrolled to be able to support you, to support your audience. I mean, what you have done is fantastic. You've done an excellent job. I remember when you first got this going and you had maybe 20 or 30,000 people following you, and look at what you've done now. I mean, it's fantastic, and you've been committed at it every day. And you have shown the persistence of what it takes to build and be able to grow a great following. More importantly, people love you. People love you, people follow you, people want to know what you're a part of, and let you and show that you're connected to great people who want to support you and your audience as well. And I'm happy to be on board doing exactly that.
well, we work well together. We think alike, and we're both committed to helping people. And so I think it's a marriage made in heaven. No pun intended. No.
Oh, no, pun intended, but no problem. We're good. We're good.
I like to mess with Joe in case you guys didn't know it. We've been friends for a long time, so we have fun. But this is serious business. A lot of people don't know where to go, how to get the resources. This is an opportunity that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. We're bringing in experts like Joe and his wisdom. He has so much wisdom to be as young as he is. Really, because starting off at 5 and 10, you have no choice but to be wise. But we have experts coming from all areas that will help you in so many real estate and finance. And then Joe doesn't know I'm gonna tap into some of his experts and bring them in. I mean, because you know what? Really, it's about us helping each other. There's enough at the top for everybody, but we have to be willing to connect and work together. Would you agree, Joe?
Oh, no question. And there's room at the top for all of us. We just have to decide that's where we want to be, or that we're willing, if not for us, do it because who you're able to help going along the way. That's part of my parents' mission. That's my mission. We didn't do this for ourselves. We did this so we could be able to touch the lives of so many people who need inspiration, direction, guidance, support, so they can make a better life for themselves and create great futures for themselves. So we didn't use the term before, but this is about how to build and create generational wealth so that you can have the right kind of legacy that's meaningful for yourself and your family. We're not here to just do it by ourselves. So we have to learn how to come together and do it well. And there are times when, Black people know how to come together and do things well. But now we got to do it in the business world and to be able to do it in our careers as well, so that we are reaching out and supporting one another in the process. So even though we have a reputation that we don't always work well together, there are plenty of pockets of people where it actually does. And I was fortunate to grow up in an environment where I saw that happening. So I don't have that mindset that, oh, we can't do business with one another. No, we've always done business with one another. And people will continue to do business if they are treated right. If they're treated right and that they treat it fairly and they treat it like with the proper level of customer service. So that was a passion of from my mother. Of great customer service has always got to be delivered. And so there's a system and organization you've got to do to be able to build your business and grow it well. My parents started off, our family, having morning sales meetings every morning at 9 a.m. To be able to teach, train, and instruct and inspire our group. And then once a week, we will have operations meeting for our managers for our beauty, barber, and supply stores. And then as we grew and developed, we continue regular meetings. And once a month, we will fly in all of our salespeople from across the country so that they can meet and see each other and see who's doing what in different parts of the country. There's systems and structures you've got to create in order to build a growing organization. And it takes a bit of piece, but you got to be committed to it. It's not going to just be handed to you, but we can help you reduce the opportunity for losing if you can follow along the path that we lay out for you. And when we do so well, it will level you up.
I love it. That's perfect. So it's I've typed the link to register, and I've typed the link to follow you with Dudley Eagles. And so this has been really great. Like I said, long overdue, but everything has its own timing. And so even though it's long overdue, it's a perfect timing, especially since we are getting ready to help people get to the next level. So I'm just honored to have you on tonight. Do you have closing remarks?
Well, are there any questions from the audience that you think would be great for me to answer?
They haven't really asked any questions. It was more comments, but if they do, they can type them in here and then I will get them to you, or they can email us at the email is going across the bottom of the screen. You can email us any questions that you have for Joe. And also, when you email us, you will be on the waiting list for the to get all the information for Christian Women Level Up. So, yeah.
Well, let me offer these comments while some questions may come in, because I'm happy to answer questions. One of the things, now we're here at the November, Thanksgiving is coming up this week, and Christmas is right around the corner. So how are you preparing yourself for 2024? Are you ready to start off 2024 with a bang? Or are you just going to limp in and say, here's another year, I hope it gets better? So this is the right time to be already planning and thinking about how you're going to start off the year and what is it you want to accomplish next year. You need to get your mind ready now for that. So you should be thinking about your plans, writing them down in terms of what you feel you want to accomplish for 2024. So that when the year turns, you're ready to go. Not like, oh, this year is already New Year's, I got to set New Year's resolutions. And in reality, so many resolutions that we set are never fulfilled because we haven't committed it in our heart and in our mind of what does it take to do it. We can pray for success, but we also must work towards success. And that means putting a plan together. Now, if you don't know how to, that's when you take advantage of some of the resources that we have available so that you can talk to people or hear the lessons from them of what you need to be able to do to move forward. So this is true in your career. This is true in your business, because if you just flounder away, you're only going to get flounder type results, as opposed to taking stepping stones to move forward to accomplish your goal. So there are solid lessons that we have. One of the great lessons we start off with is SMART goals. At the beginning of each year, I do a class on SMART goals, and we'll be doing one for 2024, where we lay out a structure for you on how to identify your main goals and how to move it forward. Our challenge is that we have so many different goals. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And at the end of the year, as we look around
we've done nothing. We've got a couple of questions. So Shanetta says, what time do you meet on Sundays?
Yes, we meet at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you become an official member, you can get replays of each of our programs. But yes, you can be able to come and join us and listen in for free. But we have more that we offer to our members so that they can get direct training and some of the resources and one-on-one coaching that I also provide for for our members as well. In fact, we have them go through what we call our entrepreneurial checkup assessment, where you get a full sense of your business strengths and weaknesses, and then be able to have an hour session with me so that I can share with you your next steps in building and growing your business. But in terms of registering to attend, we'd love to have you to come. And that's 2 p.m. Through 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Adrian says, if you don't have family support for your business, how do you keep motivated?
All right. Excellent question. Yes. Well, one such way is connecting with a network of people who are moving in the same direction as you are. We all want family support, but that's not really guaranteed. And so that means you got to connect with people who are looking at the world in a similar way that you want to look at the world, or will help open your eyes so that you can begin to see opportunities. So that's what we offer, a chance to connect with like-minded people who face problems as you do, and be able to, and that's what keeps you motivated. So we all want family support, but most people don't get family support when they're doing something entrepreneurial. And part of it is just not about their experience, but maybe you had an aunt or uncle who may have owned their own business, in case your parents haven't, or somebody else in the community that you can connect with and learn from them. But you're also welcome to learn from us as well. Oh, the other things you got to do to keep motivated is you got to read positive self-help books. Positive self-help books to be able to learn how to train your mind to see opportunities. The reality is that 90% of people only see problems. They only see problems. But the people who who achieve greater success, the 10% of the population, have learned to not just see the problems, but see opportunities and what they can do to be able to help solve those problems. And for that, people get rewarded for that. So this is all about how you train your mind, and that's what helps keep you motivated.
Okay, well, I think that's it. Someone does say, do you assist with 501c3s?
I do not personally. I do have one of my members who is a grant writer who focuses on 501c3s. Is definitely a different mindset in terms of what does it take to be able to get grants versus getting capital from banks and other investors. It's a different process, a different mentality, but that's part of being a great part of being the network. We have people who will directly help 501c3s.
Okay, well, I think that's it, Mr. Dudley. It has been a pleasure having you. We'll have to have you back. I have some great ideas that I'm going to run past you, and you already know. So we want to thank everyone who tuned in, and you have to scroll back up. I posted it. It's posted in the chat, so you have to go back and get it. Um, Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you. As I always say, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Let me see. What do I have next? Tomorrow at 2, I will be interviewing. Let me just see. I had to get my another celebrity, because I'm always doing celebrities like Joe Dudley and tomorrow I will be interviewing Kelsey Nicole Nelson. She is um, a sports commentator out of DC. She does the Commanders, and she does a lot of stuff. Very beautiful, brilliant young woman. She's in her 30s, and she's on all the Fox and doing all these different sports. Which, women back in the day, Joe, they didn't have any women sports commentators. They didn't, let alone black women. And this girl is doing the darn thing. So she's going to talk about her journey of leveling up. And we have
Yes,
Dr.
we had Jane Kennedy back in the day. Was one of the first ones in the 70s.
Yeah, but that was like, but she was like rare, wasn't she? She was,
Oh, that's the point. She was definitely a trailblazer.
but
But yeah,
now they got there's quite a few. Now
which is
I saw
fantastic.
one yesterday that was pregnant. I don't even know what channel that I saw it on, but yeah, she was. I mean, good and pregnant. And you know, back in the day, you definitely wouldn't get on TV pregnant. You know what I mean?
Right, that was not the thing. That's
No.
true.
So kudos to Kelsey, and we're going to be excited to hear her. We have Dr. David Ajibadi coming on, and he's going to be talking about Alzheimer's. So we have some interesting broadcasts coming up. Thank you again, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you. Take care.